So as a people and culture leader, there are several principles that you can use to help shape the culture design of your organization. The first of them is design thinking. Now, I know what you're probably saying. You are probably saying, I am a human resources or a people or a culture professional. I am not a designer. I don't want you to worry about that. All we're doing is we're taking some methodologies, some tools, some mindsets that we have adopted from the world of design into this new way of doing work and culture. So in short, design thinking is a systematic way of solving complex problems. The second thing is called human-centered design. And all this is just, it's a process that puts the end user, in this particular case, the employee, at the center of all of our processes, and then we end the process with solutions that best meet their needs. Not necessarily the needs of the company, not necessarily the needs of the leaders, but the needs of the employees. The third principle is one that I call, and many call, co-creation. And this is where we have a process where we invite, not mandate, but we invite our employees into a process where they give their input into what we are trying to do. What we're trying to do is we're trying to harness the collective genius of our employees so that they could speak into, they can provide ideas, they can even help us test some of these ideas so that we can create solutions that best address and improve the employee experience in our companies. So now that we've addressed the principles of culture design, I want to share with you what are the 6 steps that can be implemented as part of the design thinking process to shape your culture. Now, I know what you're saying. 6 steps. Oh my gosh, it seems like it's going to take us so long. It's going to be so involved. I'm not sure I have the energy. I'm not sure that we have the bandwidth to embark on this long journey. I'm telling you that it doesn't have to be a long journey. This is meant to be expressed as a framework with 6 steps or even 6 modules that contain within them certain tools and activities that you can use. Many times, you can actually choose one of these as standalones to be able to try something new in your organization. So the first step that you want to do is you want to plan. You want to understand what is it that you are trying to solve? What problem are you trying to solve in your organization? And this many times has to do with asking a lot of questions, having conversations with the people in your organization to understand what is the initial problem that you want to solve. The next part is where you begin to empathize. Empathize with your employees, and that goes to a lot of research as well. Having conversations, this includes qualitative information as well as quantitative, but this is where you truly understand your employees, what they understand. Many times, this includes a lot of hard information, some realizations that things may not be as you understood them to be. And so this is what is required in the empathize phase. The third phase is where you reframe. And this is sometimes something that is missed in a lot of these processes. Many times you will begin with an initial understanding of what the problem is. But as you go through the empathize phase and you start to learn more information about what in fact is the real problem at your organization, you may have to reframe your initial understanding of that problem. In fact, the initial problem may in fact not be the right problem to solve. So when you go through the reframing section or phase of the process, you start to understand, after we've done all this research, we've realized that our initial problem may not be the right one for us to solve. So how might we reshape the problem statement in this process so that we can make sure that we are addressing the right problem to solve? The fourth stage in this process is ideation, and many of us love this phase. We love this phase because we can come up with many ideas. Now, what is powerful about this phase is that we are asking many people, all of the employees, different teams, different departments, different functions, to be able to give their input as to what are some of the ideas that are necessary to solve this problem. And this is where I reiterate that the best ideas will not come from the experts. It will not come from consultants. In fact, it may not even come from the leaders in the room. Most times, the best ideas about how to improve a culture in your creative organization will come from the employees themselves. And so this is where we have different exercises, different tools, where we can try to come up with some really innovative solutions to the problem that we are facing today. The fifth stage of the process is prototyping. After we have come up with all of our ideas, we will prioritize those ideas and select which ones we believe will best solve the problem at hand. So it's not just selecting a problem, but it is actually designing the solution. It is prototyping it in what some may call a minimal viable solution. And it's the most basic form of that solution, so that we can then go on to the sixth phase where we actually test some of those things. Now, some of these prototypes might be a new policy, it might be a new technology, it might be a new way of making decisions, it might be the way we design our workplace. These are all examples of how we might prototype a specific solution to help improve the employee experience or reshape the culture of an organization. But it's not just about coming up with ideas or even that prototype. We need to make sure that we send that prototype to be tested by our employees so that we can get feedback to make sure that we in fact are solving this problem, and that we can get feedback to make sure that we can improve that solution so that we can in fact make sure that the culture and the employee experience is improving. These are the 6 ways that we can use design thinking as a methodology, as a framework to be able to solve some of the cultural problems that we have in our organizations. Again, we can use the whole process, or we can pick and choose not only modules, but specific tools and activities that we can help solve any day, any type of problem in our organization.